Hey you guys, this is Honey.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Mauricio.
Making Changes is about
Interviewing people from the community.
everybody has a story.
We talk about their obstacles, we talk about challenges,
You never know. Sharing your story might help somebody else.
what they go through, how they get through it,
And we also give you resources that can help you out.
and how they overcome them.
So stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching.
Hello everyone, welcome to episode 2 of Making Changes with our special guest, Monique.
Hi guys, nice to meet everybody.
Hey, Monique. Thanks for coming.
Of course.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm a third generation lowrider. I was basically conceived in a lowrider and born right into it.
That's right.
Was a troublemaker as a youth. You already know how that goes. I mean, my eyebrows are a little thicker now. But let's just say like the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. The only thing that kind of really kept me straight in life was lowriding. I mean, as a teenager, I owned a 68 Impala convertible.
Teenager.
As a teenager, at 15 years old, I had like my daily car, which was like a 84 Toyota Corolla, which had a diamond dust Rupert Brown paint job, like something special I needed, right? Like if it was a lowrider. And then I had a lowrider.
Oh shit.
And then I bought my second one by the time I was 16.
You bought it yourself?
Yes,
What?
a 69 Impala for $500
Wow.
back in like 98,
Let's go
99.
back in the days.
I was
Shit.
like, when was this?
Yes.
Right? We've had a few cars go to Japan and stuff, but as a third generation lowrider, I was just in it automatically from the start. I mean, I can remember the Coliseum, the real super shows,
Yeah.
cruising Whittier, where everybody was out, half out the car, half in the car. Cops were setting barricades up. I mean, it was good times.
Oh yeah.
Good
Real
times.
good times.
Sold the cars, dropped out of college, and found myself as a senior officer doing security at 18.
Okay.
How did you land that job?
You know, there was a friend of a friend from lowriding that said, "You have the persona, do this."
Yeah.
I said, "All right, let's do it." I mean, I was working at JCPenney's. Why
Yeah.
not? From there, I became a sheriff security, and I got to do undercover work, some great things with them for over 18 years.
How was that?
Different. It's a male culture already being in cars and being the only female out there, other than like my mother and like 2 or 3 other women. But being with the sheriffs, it's all males. Even with the security sheriffs, it's just predominantly males.
Yeah.
For the first 6 years, I was the only female.
Wow.
So working with the sheriffs, did you get any kind of shit from your homies?
All right.
Your homegirls?
So I walk a double beta sword, right? Low riding on the weekend, straight to work in khaki and green during the week.
No shit.
Yeah. Where I had to make sure I looked different completely so that people didn't recognize me. But then I'm getting pulled over on the boulevard in my lowrider for doing dumb shit.
Yeah.
And then they see it's me. And then here comes
What are
Monday.
you doing here,
Yeah.
man?
You get reprimanded because you shouldn't be doing that.
Right.
And I'm like, my life and work are 2 different things.
Yeah.
And it was like my first year in when I got pregnant with my son. So the whole time he's 4th generation following along, just going with life.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's fun. But I will say this, I love how you guys say making changes. Because when I went into that, I wanted to see the change and be the change. Because I was tired of getting harassed, pulled over,
Yeah.
sat on the curb, cuffed. You know, your grandparents, your Theo goes by. They're like, "Hey, look it. Thank God there was no camera phones then."
Right.
But, you know, it never ends. For the holidays, they always still. And it was different. It was different. But I was definitely a change in it.
That's good. That's good.
You know, it changes you personally. And depending on how you handle each situation, each person, it depends. Like, it affects their whole life. You know, one kind gesture, hey, let me just talk to you for a minute. I don't even want to harass you. Let me just put some knowledge in your head.
Yeah.
You know, I come from the streets and I have the background to know the law stuff. So I just want to educate them on the law so they don't mess up.
Yeah.
That way they don't go to the system. You know, they don't get that record young.
Speaking of that, how was it trying to teach that to your son?
different. We did RBA baseball. I became a board member, a team mom. We did the Pico Rivera Dons and Donnas youth football. I was a board member for them for 5 years. My dad was a coach.
You kept them busy.
Yeah, my mom was a medic. I mean, I'm a single parent, so anything to keep him off the streets. But yet then I'm taking him on the weekends in the lowrider.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
You know, but back then it wasn't, early 2000s, there wasn't a lot of kids out. Like 2023 now, you go to a lowrider event, gang of kids, bikes and stuff. Back then, no.
It's more of a family thing now. Yeah.
Back then it was a lot of politics and issues and stuff still.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Wow.
So I kept him, you know, he learned from the streets, but I also kept him on the right path.
Really quick, does he have a car of his own?
Yes, yes.
What kind of car does he have?
He has a 83 Lincoln, designer series, Emilio Fucci.
Okay.
I gave it to him like 4 years ago when he graduated 8th grade, just to keep him on the path, like stay on the path. He still had to put the hydraulics in, the sound system. He painted it twice. He welds his own stuff, puts his own setup in. He has his sound system. I mean, mostly everybody sees him out there now.
How old is your son?
17. He started with the lowrider bike, lowrider trike, then put hydraulics in his trike, and then moved up to the car. And now he's on the right path. Tell us a little bit about in both school and in the community. He's an advocate for the youth for lowriding and stuff. He's an artist. He's a photographer. He develops his own film, prints his own pictures. He's real artistic in his own way. Graduated from high school. Yes.
Because you're like, yes.
Yes, I know, right? Because growing up, we didn't get that same.
Exactly.
How do you say? I don't want to say kick in the ass, because they did kick us in the ass.
No, but they beat us.
Yeah, this is true. Whatever was in hand's reach.
Yeah.
But whatever it took to keep him realizing this is the way the streets are, this is one code of ethics you have to live by. But in the other world, you have to live by a set of ethics. Like, unfortunately, you're going to have to learn to combine the two and move about them.
Pretty much you didn't sugarcoat anything that you tell to your son. I think that's very important.
Yeah, he got everything up front.
Yeah.
If it was just me and him, he knows it's just me and him.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just me and him, but I had like my grandparents around, my parents were around. They all put a hand in.
Yeah.
You know, it does take a village.
It does. It really does. So, anything in specific that you want to share with us?
You know, a lot of people don't know about me is that I want to say sometimes critically sick and hospitalized, and other times I'm fine. But because this is painted so nice, people don't notice.
Right.
But then I tell people, I don't let you see me on my sick days. So about 10 years ago, I was in one of my lowriders. Thank God it was an all-steel car. 79 Cordoba. I had 13s on it, and then I put 21-inch blade Lexonis on it with rubber band tires. Why? Because, I don't know, it's the thing to do. Everybody went with big rims. And one day, right after the New Year's picnic for Majestics, I want to say like a day or two after, I had already had the car sold for like $20,000. And I drove it to work. 5 in the morning. And a semi-truck did an illegal turn across 7 lanes and took me out over 70 feet. Yeah.
Did you see it coming?
I seen it. I seen him turn. I slammed on the brakes, thinking like both feet are gonna work.
Yeah, you
didn't.
Automatic.
Yeah, you just skidded. On rubber band tires, you just skidded. And I wasn't even doing 40 miles an hour yet. So the bumper hooked onto his gas tank. Luckily, he had a full tank. So it just shifted the car completely and threw me out. So I'm now laying on Washington Boulevard on the floor. And the only thing I have with me is my cell phone because it was in my front pocket.
Right.
Called 911. Called my parents, said, you know, I'm sorry, but I crashed the car. If I don't make it, I love you guys. And that was all I can tell you I remember from it until waking up in the hospital.
Wow.
Yeah. 2 broken hands, broken Achilles, torn tendons in the shoulders, seatbelt damage. Steering wheel is all steel, right to the face. Yeah, no airbags.
Right.
So it was a good year with about 22 surgeries.
22
surgeries.
Mm-hmm.
Almost a surgery a week.
Wow.
For reconstruction, yeah. Reconstruction of my hands, my Achilles tendon so I can walk and stuff again. Herniated discs. I mean, you name it. It took me for a toll. And I thought like, oh, eventually I'm going to bounce back. I'm going to be fine. Doctor said 5-6 years. Everything's going to heal. And it did. Progressively, you know, you move on. You get better.
Did you have to take any kind of therapy? Like
all kinds. Speech therapy. Walking therapy just to learn to walk again and get my steps going.
Yeah. Wow, this was a really bad accident.
Yeah, it was a really tragic accident where I played it off like, you know, the way we're raised is, oh, you're good, dust it off.
Yeah.
Keep going. Yeah. So I did. I went back to work in 2 weeks and just took time off for the surgery.
Girl.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because in my mind,
gotta keep it pushing.
I gotta keep pushing. I'm a single parent.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lose the house. I'm not gonna lose the cars. I'm not gonna lose anything.
Yeah, there's a lot on the line.
A lot on the line, and I'm the only one bringing it in.
Yeah. That was really stressful.
Super.
Yeah.
But keeping busy keeps your mind occupied. You
Yeah.
know, you just keep going.
That's right.
How long did it take you to actually fully
recover?
Yeah.
About 4 years. And even now, you can't even really see the scars.
You can't see them at all.
No. I paid for the high-end surgeries on Miracle Mile just because I had went to therapies, and you have to be an advocate really for yourself, because as a victim of crashes, they just push you through the system. They just want their money.
Yeah.
So I started learning and talking to people that were previously in the type of crashes I was in. They have keloid scars, they're walking with walkers, and they're young. I mean, I'm 40 years old now, so this happened when I was 30. And there's people that was in their 30s and 40s that you would think were 60. Because of tragic accidents with semi-trucks.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And it took, around the 5th year, although everything healed, I wasn't feeling better. The fatigue, the tiredness, the heaviness, the pain, it was still there. I can't tell you how many doctors I went to see or specialists, but they found out I had lupus.
Oh.
Yeah.
How?
Turns out people are pre-programmed genetically for certain disabilities and autoimmune disorders.
Okay.
And a tragic accident like that, or the surgeries, they don't know which triggered it, but one of them set it off.
And I mean, what is lupus?
Lupus is an autoimmune disease where basically your body tries to kill itself. Your cells are attacking your cells. So when you get sick, she has a cold or a flu, the white immune cells come in, clean up. No, they're just trying to clean up, and there's nothing wrong. So it turns everything into an inflammation and an oversensory.
Wow.
Hi guys, on today's episode of Making Changes is actually sponsored by K&H, and with us we have Carlos. Would you like to tell us a little bit about your business?
Yeah, so we're actually a auto detailing company, but we also provide various services as far as window cleanings, driveway cleanings. But as far as the vehicle wise, it goes as interior cleanings, engine bay, undercarriage, rims, wheels off packages, ceramic coatings, paint corrections, which we come in and we remove all your surface scratches, your swirls that may look like spider webs, and we also do odor removals and much more.
Quick question, you said that you do windows and stuff like that. It's not just a basic clean, right?
No, so when we come in do your windows, whether it's a business, home, mirrors, we come out, we clean them thoroughly with some eco-friendly products, and then we come through, we clean them. We also apply ceramic coating, so the ceramic protects it from scratches, fingerprints, any haziness, like your shower won't haze, your glass won't fog, get all ugly with that residue that just comes throughout time.
When it comes down to warranties, I believe you offer some warranties.
Yes, so all my ceramic packages do come with warranty. I have different grades from platinum, gold, diamond, and bronze. So platinum is lifetime, gold is 5 years, silver is 3, bronze is 1 year. So we come in and we maintain whatever product we may, do from your cars, rims, undercarriages, engine bays. We do couches, homeware, high chairs for kids, anything that, pretty much any surfaces, shoes, purses, wallets. But yeah, so we warranty all the ceramic, all our ceramic products.
So when it comes down to the swirls that you were talking about, how does that happen? How does it happen to cars? And how long after you start seeing that?
So
can the paint start getting messed up?
People's vehicles paint, it varies. So if you take your car to a drive-through car wash, it starts giving you swirls. If you take it to a hand wash and they're using not microfiber towels or a rough kind of towel or a sponge, it causes swirling. Or if you got a guy that comes out with a brush and he's over there with the brush, aggravating the paint with that brush on a stick, which a lot of people do, and that's what causes a lot of your surface scratches. So that's when you see those little swirls that will imitate like a spider web.
So, for example, in the community, obviously, we know a lot of people with lowriders, right? Definitely recommended to get one of those, right? Which package would you say you would recommend to take care of? Because obviously the paint jobs for those cars are really expensive.
Yeah. So I say a base package that everybody should get at least once a year is a silver package. So it comes with the 2-step paint correction that come in, remove about 65 to 75% of all your scratches. I coat it for 3 years. Also comes with a 3-year warranty. And then, I maintenance it. I come out, free wash, free maintenance. If your ceramic's not working for any particular reason, maybe you took it through a drive-through car wash just because, you didn't have the time to properly care for it. It's cool. You call us out, we come out, we ensure it's working effectively. If it's not, we remove, reapply for free, no charge. And like I said, I maintenance it throughout the whole warranty. So yeah, I just say a silver package is a common one. It'll protect the paint, it won't haze, the longevity of it is really well. But yeah, your paint won't oxidate, protects it from UV rays, so,
Now that you're talking about oxidation, so there's a lot of people that once they see the oxidation, they're just like, I'm gonna get a brand new paint job.
Yeah, so we specialize in black paint and oxidation. So oxidation is where your paint is real dull. There's no shine, no sheen to it, nothing. You guys can contact us. I'll come out and give you guys a quote, let you know what's best for your vehicle. We can color sand, wet sand, get everything thoroughly back to what it was, and then we'll throw in a ceramic coating to put the icing on the cake to, maintain the clear coat, because the ceramic coating acts like clear coat, so it's liquid glass. So if I leave it out, it'll dry out and it'll turn into a shard. So if I drop it, it'll break, But when it's applied to a car, it won't crack. It will just, protect it. So it'll be like another layer for your vehicle.
Nice. Well, Carlos, thank you so much for coming on to the show and sponsoring us. This is K&H and Mauricio and Honey. Thank you guys so much for watching.
It's a hidden disease that people don't talk about because you look fine.
It's invisible, yeah.
Yeah, you look, I get up, go to work, and I'm fine. But then there's days I'm sick and I'm in the hospital. Like, nobody would have known 3 weeks ago. My mom had to actually call 911 to have me hospitalized.
What happened?
I'd like to tell you I knew completely, but between the nausea and the throwing up with the pain, she said she was going to take me to the hospital. I remember getting in the car. She said we got to the corner. She called 911 from the car and we backtracked it. And they took me. Oh. I came to in the hospital, realized, like, finally coherently, like, I'm here. And, they're checking everything. My white blood count's at like 25,000. Doctor's like, where's the pain? And I was like, just my stomach. It's just my stomach. I can't stop throwing up. They gave me morphine, everything. Didn't even take the edge off. So this one doctor pulled all my background history from the car crash. I mean, he ran everything back. And sent me for ink contrast ultrasound MRI of the whole body.
Okay.
he said there has to be something else wrong other than that.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, well, I'm also doing chemo. And he's like, well, why are you on chemo? And I said, well, because my white blood count's too high. With lupus, you have to kill the cells in order to let your body regenerate itself.
Wow.
Just like cancer.
Wow, that's intense.
So you already knew that you had lupus?
I already knew I had lupus, and I just told the emergency doctor, like, on top of everything else you knew, this is what I'm going through right now. And he was like, there has to be something else wrong with you. He said, not just your lupus, because this is my 3rd time on chemo in 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, there has to be something. I said, they found nothing. I just got checked in November again. Nothing. They found a tumor on the left ovary that actually engulfed the ovary. So if they did a regular ultrasound, it just looked like your ovary was swollen or you had a cyst on it.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually found out that the tumor is about 3, almost 4 centimeters.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So we're gonna, I'm on week 17 of chemo.
Mm-hmm. For this tumor.
For now the tumor and the lupus.
Okay.
And we're gonna push it ahead and up the chemo.
Mm-hmm.
And probably do another 6 weeks, maybe 2 months most.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll go in, they said they'll remove it.
Okay.
The problem with all that is growing up the way we grew up, you never want to let anybody know you're sick because you're weak.
Yeah.
So the first time I did chemo, only my son knew.
Okay.
My parents, nobody, friends, nothing.
Did you ever get depressed?
Yeah, I mean, it's sad because there's days you're so sick you can't get out of bed. But other people, even your closest friends, don't understand it.
Yeah.
They just think you're too busy or you got other things going on, you can't show up to events. And I was a person that was always at my friends' events. They're promoters, they're DJs, you know, they're out there.
Yeah.
And for the first time in life, I actually had to take a step back. Step back from being a parent, from working full-time, from just being a mentor or a person there for the youth, for whether it's lowriding or sports.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a step back, and you have to actually relearn to take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because self-care isn't taught when we were growing up. They don't say, like, watch what you eat because what you're eating is going to affect you.
Yeah.
They're just like, eat your food.
Yep.
Or don't eat shit.
Fucked up, huh? That was like, if you think about it,
yeah,
it's traumatizing.
it's traumatizing. So,
Or you would even get hit.
right, you didn't finish your glass of milk.
They didn't believe in allergies. They didn't believe in that makes my stomach hurt.
Yeah,
None of that. I'm gonna fuck your ass up if you don't fucking eat. Stop playing.
this is what you're getting.
I'm like,
Yeah, so you eat it or
I'm
do
gonna go
it.
to sleep.
Yeah, I usually would go to sleep.
I would do that. They would tell me, and I was just like, I don't like this. It makes my stomach hurt.
Yeah, I'll wait until the next meal to eat.
Yeah.
And so then taking nutrition classes, doing the chemo, you know, just taking any avenue to learn and advocate for myself was the next step. I mean, all the way up to now being my 3rd treatment and we're 5 years in. I mean, I can say I've known Honey a few years off and on that we meet at different events.
Mm-hmm.
And just a couple of weeks ago, I just let her know what was going on.
Yeah.
And that was just because I was like, my apologies, we stepped out early. This is what I have going on. And I've just started learning to say, not sorry, but hey, just so you know, I have this going on, or this is an issue for me right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here for you, but I'm handling this.
Of course.
When it comes down to, I think it happens just in general, like within Hispanics. You're going through something, and if you tell somebody your story, you get very defensive when someone tells you, I'm sorry that you're going through that.
Right, because I'm not weak.
Yeah.
I'm sick. There's a difference.
Really defensive, and it's like you have to learn that people genuinely do feel bad because you never know. Like, there's actually people that are probably going through the same thing or
And
battled with the
don't
same thing
say
with the
nothing.
family members. Yeah.
And don't say nothing.
Yeah.
As I was telling personal friends this time around, this is what I'm going through. And they only realized it because the weight loss.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't gain weight during COVID like everybody else did. I lost weight. I got thinner and thinner and thinner.
Mm-hmm.
After I came off chemo and started to get healthy, I gained and gained and gained, maxed my weight, and then went some. This time, I'm learning a way better procedure on how to maintain the health, maintain my care, my energy, and my strength.
Is this something that you pretty much had to
I'll do
look
on
up
my own.
yourself? Yeah.
Online
So they
looking.
don't bother to help
No.
you with anything.
No. If you have anything like diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, fibromyalgia, MS, there are avenues for help, but people never think to go there because they feel weak, just the way they were raised.
Right. When it comes down to lupus, is this something that you're gonna just have for the
For
rest,
the rest of your life, there is
Yeah.
no cure. There is no cure.
Just managing.
Just managing.
Really?
So if I can manage it, say they take the tumor out, and I get my levels back to manageable, I get to go off chemo and basically start from day one again over.
Okay.
My levels start going high and stuff, they're gonna resort back to that. There is new treatments out there, I'm just not familiarized with a lot of them yet.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a possibility. I'll find out next week actually some more information on a few of them. But I can't tell you there was somebody that said, hey, you have this, or here's a pamphlet, or here's a number to call, or here's how you talk to your family and your friends about it.
Mm-hmm.
Here's how you talk to work about it, or your kids. I mean, my kid luckily was young when it started, so he was able to go through it with me.
Mm-hmm.
So he knows. He can look at me and say, she's sick, she's tired, and he knows it off the top of his head. I'll ask him for help, but I still have a hard time asking other adults for help. You know,
Because it's just something that you.
I've learned to
this is how
deal
you
with.
grew up.
Yeah, I've learned to deal with it. Anything on my own, I manage it. It's my burden. It's not your burden. It's not your burden. It's mine. And I don't want to burden people who have other obligations already.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fucked up feeling, especially because you're just like, fuck, I'm really going through it. And then when people find out, they're like, you should have said something.
Yeah, or they're like, oh, I'm sorry, you're going through it. And I was like, well, I was trying to talk to you about it, but
Yeah.
you were just too busy, or maybe when I told you I had like 6 doctor's appointments last month,
You should have asked why.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I didn't know how to say it to you, but I was trying to bring it up.
Yeah.
I would say honestly, that's even why I'm single now.
yeah.
Yeah. Is because I tried dating people, and whether it's on chemo or off chemo, they don't seem to understand what it takes.
Yeah.
They either think you're weak or you can't do it, or you're too sick to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's neither. You have good days and you have bad days. So I reach out to people now that have cancer, that I see doing chemo.
Are you getting the same kind of chemo?
Yeah, same
Yes.
thing they do as cancer.
No shit.
Yeah,
How is that?
it's nasty.
Yeah.
It's nasty.
Once you get the chemo, how long does it, like, do you go days that you have to take
I-
to recover?
I get chemo every week on Friday.
So you
I get my injection and the chemo done all at the same time. And I usually sleep about 20, 22 hours after, just to get my body down and going again. And there's things I'll do in life, like I'll go out cruising and in the cars, and we're all hopping around.
Yeah.
And I'm great at that time. But the next morning, I can't get out of bed.
Body sore? Or
Body sore, too much inflammation. It just, something didn't react right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could be here today, I think to myself, but be gone tomorrow. And that's the one thing that keeps me going. No matter what. Show up, make the memories, make the time. Whether people realize it or not that you're sick,
I'm gonna cry.
you're gonna have to just keep going forward. I mean, my biggest fear when I watched your guys' first podcast was the same thing that mother said about her son with autism. If something happens to me, what happens to him? Well, at least he had a mom and a dad. My son just has a mom. And I thought to myself, every time I had to go through something or step up to it, this is a matter of life and death. This is whether my kid gets to keep surviving or not. So making it to 17, high school graduation, doing some college stuff already, driving, these are all great accomplishments that I tried to get done in a certain time frame, whether he knew it or not. Because the doctors don't know. They can't tell you nothing really. They can just read the chart.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I even went to school to be a phlebotomist and a lab tech while still working full time and taking chemo in the beginning.
Girl.
Yeah. Because I thought like 3 weeks I can knock it out. I want to learn more about why are they taking so much blood when they do it? What are they testing for? What's this? What's that?
Yeah.
I mean, I've had family members pass. My grandfather passed maybe 8 years ago of cancer. But the advancement from then to now has changed so much.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I actually said, you want to see the change, be the change. Go into that field. Go into the medical field and start helping advocate for people there.
One thing that you can pretty much tell the audience, like, what that helped you.
Don't give up. Focus on 2 or 3 great things in life and just don't give up. You know, if it's your kids, keep focus on them. Don't be afraid you won't be there, but make sure you're installing the skills that they need to survive without you.
Right.
Find a job you love. Find a job you love. Work with people you like. That makes a difference. Even now, I now work as a training officer and a senior officer in downtown LA, and it's great. Eventually I'll move on. But I like to make a positive movement everywhere I touch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I'm going to be there, I'm going to impact them. And then my time is done, I'll move on.
Yeah.
And find a good hobby. Find a good hobby. We can't always watch TV and we can't always read because we're sick. But whether it's board games, puzzles, learning to sew, find a new habit. And as a woman, what do we love to get done? Our nails. Yeah. So I stopped going to nail places because they got too tender while they were doing them. They're a little rough.
Yeah.
So I started doing my own nails about 6 months ago.
Hell yeah, that's dope.
You know, you do lose all your hair with chemo. I mean, a lot of people, and I've had people tell me like, you don't look sick and you have all your hair. No, it's all fake. It's not a wig, but I have tape and extensions all the way in.
Still looks really good.
But it makes you feel like you still. Yeah. Because last time my hair was this long and black, and I lost it all, and I had to cut my hair to here. And I started over with blonde. So I wasn't going to do it twice.
Yeah.
Once my hair was gone, we put them in.
How did that affect you mentally?
Mentally, it's challenging because growing up, we're not allowed to cut our hair. Our hair grows long, and that's it, and that's it. Maybe it's in braids, but that's it. And losing my hair was like losing my identity.
Yeah.
And the best advice I had gotten was, then change your identity if you don't feel like you know who you are anymore. And remind yourself who you are. And I went blonde.
It looks good on you.
Thank you.
You're like, thanks.
I mean, the brain messes it up, but hey, we good.
No, I love it. It looks
Thank you.
really good on you.
But yeah, you have to find things for self-care for you. If it makes you feel good, if it makes you feel more positive, makes you feel more confident, do it. I don't care. I'm not for surgeries really, but if you want it and it makes you a better person, do it. Life is too short. You never have enough time with anybody. And even when you think you spend enough time with them, there's always times that you think back like, I could have did a little more.
Yeah,
I could always. It's been a non-stop thought in my head. I've lost almost all my cousins to gangbanging, diabetes, all that good stuff. And it's really hard to sit here and say it didn't hurt because it did. Every time I lost somebody to something, I learned more about it and more. And there's kids I meet nowadays that are middle school, high school. I mean, I just help guide them in the right direction. I just want them to understand somebody cares. Mm-hmm. Maybe nobody at home, but not in the streets. Like, I want you to know the streets are going to love you regardless of what you do. Mm-hmm. They're always going to be there. But people that enlighten your life and give you advice and try to look out for you, those people are rare. I mean, it's a rare breed to find people like that now, but how are you going to teach the youth? Yeah. If you're not actually out there saying it to them.
And it's crazy because we were actually having a conversation similar, like, about the youth today. I think it's very important for us to focus on them because, like what we were talking about earlier, our parents weren't home for like sometimes 12, 14 hours.
Yeah, they were working.
And they would come home like around 8, 9.
I was fortunate. My dad had a hydraulic shop while I was growing up, so building classic cars was very in us. So he was always at the shop and he could, leave when needed. But really, he was always at work,
Mhm.
even when he was home.
Yeah.
My mom, being a nurse, was always at work. And she went back to school, I think in her 30s, to be a nurse. So you can always change.
Yeah.
You can always do something. Just, I don't want to say re-identifying yourself, but just building your profile up. You could be a jack of all trades. You never know who you're going to influence and who's listening.
Yeah, that's true. And I feel that for some reason now, when it comes to our youth, they feel so pressured because you have to have your shit together by a certain age. And it's like, you really don't have to have your shit together. Because,
we were raised like that.
Yeah.
We were raised like that. Like,
and it fucked us up, so don't listen to that.
Don't do it.
Don't listen to that, because even if you go to school, you become a real estate agent, do it for like 2-3 years, you love it, and then you change your mind and you go to school and you try something different, and it's like you just keep on bouncing until you find something that you really like.
And the
to do.
state of California will pay for you to go to school, to go to college. Look into it, guys. Look into it. The scholarships are there.
Yeah.
Adult, youth, they're there.
Yeah.
I want to say COVID hurt a lot of people, but it helped a lot of the community learn to reach out for each other again.
Yeah. Yeah, it sure did. And it pushed a lot of people to open up their business.
Yeah. I mean, I can't even tell you how many people opened new businesses up and had great promotions, and that was their passion the whole time.
Yeah.
Their career was just something to satisfy or pacify what thought their parents put into them, like, you got to have a career job.
Yeah.
In my mind, I thought I had to have a career job. Like,
Yeah.
you have to have a career job. That
You
was
have
it.
to go to college. You have to, major in something, and you're just like,
And when I dropped out of college, I thought, like, shit, what am I going to do?
yeah. Because sometimes you go to college, but you can't find a way to get into anything that you...
And sometimes it's not you that block you, but family members,
Oh, yeah.
history, the address you live at. I mean, it's something that has nothing to do with you or your family, but somebody that lived there prior to you that had a felony, and it blocks your address. So when they run a check on you, it messes you up. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know this. So when you get investigated for, and they do it now a lot more often than earlier in the 2000s, the background checks they do on you are credit checks, address checks, full name checks for aliases. Yeah.
Fuck.
So they want to know who you're hanging out with, what you're doing, what you're seeing.
I gotta move. I gotta move. No shit.
You're judged by all these things out here in the world. Yeah.
I mean, aside, because let's be honest, I don't know if I should say it, but being Hispanic, we already get
shit for it.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
Like, oh, here comes another fucking cholo.
Yeah.
You know, and
I mean, like, my 3 dots are covered up usually during the week on my face, but I have tattoos on my hands. I mean, I could be as professional where you wouldn't recognize my voice if I was to talk to you on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
But catch me 5 minutes later after work, I don't look the same, I don't sound the same, and that's not me.
Crazy, because we were just talking about this in the car, where I went to go apply somewhere. I spoke to the lady, we were having a great conversation, she loved everything, she was like, you're perfect for the job.
Sounds like you're on par, right?
Yeah, the moment that she saw me, she just like literally looked at me.
Up and down.
And I was like, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna get it, huh? In my mind, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And as she walked up to me, she just said, hi, yeah, so... Didn't shake my hand. I was like, I could tell body language.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you know what? Have yourself a good day.
The streets taught us all that first, though.
Yeah.
The streets taught us we were going to be judged automatically growing up. You were judged what your parents drove. You were judged by what you wore, what you ate. Everything. And now as adults that we are, beating through all these different things in life, we know the minute we see another adult and they look at us funny.
Yeah.
We know what you're thinking. We know what's going on in your mind.
Sometimes I'm like, and you guys wonder why we're so defensive.
Right.
You know, but it's something that we also have to heal within ourselves, because we have to understand. Unfortunately, people...
We're stereotyped.
Yeah.
It's not you personally. It's just what, and I'm going to say this the best way I can. It's what the media puts out there.
True.
That you look like.
Yeah.
The media automatically does that. I actually seen something on gangs the other day, and I laughed so hard because there was a lowrider in that picture. And I know the person that owns that lowrider and that car. And they're the furthest from a gang member.
Yeah.
I look more hood related in a hoodie than that person does ever. And I said, now anybody in LA sees that and they see their car, they're going to actually think gang member.
Yeah.
But it's not. We all know that car costs us $20,000, $40,000, $50,000.
Yeah.
But they're going to say, oh, they're no good people.
Yeah. And there's a lot of times that you can go, where did we go? I forgot which mall we went to, but we walked in there and it was just, Crook and I, we were just completely tatted and we're walking there.
Oh, tell me it wasn't the Glendale Mall.
I don't think it was. I forgot which mall it was, but yeah, he was like, in my mind I'm like, I feel a little uncomfortable just because it's like I could feel
them looking at you.
Looking at us and be like, do you want an autograph? What?
Do you know me? Have you seen me before?
It's messed up to feel that way.
It is.
You know?
You feel already stereotyped.
Yeah. And sometimes it's like you walk into a store and they really judge you like, you're not gonna buy shit. And I'm like,
and you
my tattoos cost more than...
Yeah.
Shut up.
You got more into your nails invested than you do.
And you know, a lot of people tend to say, poor people, they're just flashy. No, we can actually afford this shit, and it's like, don't go there, you know?
Like, I'm gonna tell you my bad bougie habit. As hood as I am, and professional as I can be, my worst ever bougie habit that I have is Disneyland.
Oh, it's so expensive now.
So we actually had passes for the last 17 years that my son's been alive. And we just recently let him go. Yeah, recently let him go because we decided we're going to invest more into the cars than Disneyland.
Yeah, let's do
that. They suit us better than the company. They're doing great. But I have to buy me some Dooney and Bert. Some of them Disney purses. Like, I got to have the clutch, the purse, the wallet, the hobo bag.
You know, I worked at Bloomingdale's. And that's the first time that I ever, this was years ago. And over 12 years actually. And that's the first time that I ever heard of Dooney and Burke. I have so many purses.
Right.
I'll give it to you if you want them. Because I'm like, I don't wear
that's my, I don't, you know, one thing is, you'll always catch me with the backpack. You will always see me with the backpack. Unless I really have to dress up to go somewhere, then I'll get out one of my purses.
And people don't even understand how expensive those purses are.
Yeah, they don't. They're like, oh, it's Disney. You're still a kid? Hell yeah, I am.
They're like, keep on thinking that.
Like, I'll tell you a secret I know. So, for a little bit, I dabbled with Disneyland security for a few months. Just to see what their ins and outs are.
Yeah.
Just to see what their ins and outs are. I just wanted to work undercover for them for a little bit. Would you believe I seen you and your man with your ears on and all?
Really?
Mm-hmm. Wait. When you guys went to Disney after you had the baby?
Oh, it was probably for my birthday.
I think, yeah, it was your birthday. But I was undercover.
No.
So I couldn't even say hi if I wanted to because I have a mic and everything on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, because I'm set for that job.
Yeah.
And that you have to maintain your role as that person or character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But everybody goes to Disneyland, whether they want to be there or not. And you got the
this was a gift, okay?
I'm not judging you. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying.
We love Disney.
But it's Disney. It's a place that brings out child memories that make you feel like everything you went through your youth.
Yeah.
You're an adult now. You get to find that little medium, that little inside you that reminds you to stay strong when you're an adult.
Wow. You I don't even want to say is that so pretty much that those are the two main things that you're struggling with right now.
Yeah, with the lupus, the chemo, and the tumor right now. But I'm still out there cruising almost every weekend.
Yeah.
I still go to work. And even people at work tell me like, dude, I would never be able to do what you're doing. And I was like, why? I just wake up a little earlier to paint this on.
And you could say that you're like your son's #1 fan.
Number one.
I remember I was like, oh my so dope. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Everything's a team effort with us. Everything's we're both putting 100% in. We run ideas back and forth, business ideas, work ideas, business ideas. I mean, even at 17, he's taking business 101 right now.
That's great.
You know, so anything to show him there's more to life out there. You know, I may have settled here because I got comfortable, I told him, or whatever the reason, but you never really have to settle.
Yeah.
I said you just can stay comfortable for a few years or whatever it is and get comfortable with being uncomfortable, I told him, because that's life.
Yeah.
Things happen, the world changes, people change, just be prepared.
Wow. I mean, I even like when she told me, I was so heartbroken. I got in my car and I was
She was so shocked,
and I was like, it sucks, but like you said, you would never even think anything's wrong. Like,
no.
She's always so happy. She's always like, hey, my son, you know, we're doing this, we're doing that, the car. And when she told me, I was just like, I felt so horrible because, you know, and it's one thing that never judge people because you never know what they're really going through.
Yeah, you don't.
You don't know what they're battling with.
Mm-hmm.
And people can be so cruel.
They're harsh. They're harsh
it gets me
about
so
it.
fucking pissed. Sometimes I'm just like, I just want to fight, you know, but because it gets me so angry.
I mean, I had a union rep tell me, you know, you call off a lot. And I'm like, well, you know, I'm doing chemo, right? Like, I put all my paperwork in and stuff, everybody should know at work. And he's like, really? Because when my sister did it, he's like, she got really thin and lost her hair. And I'm like, so you haven't noticed the 30 pounds I lost? You just think I look good? This ain't real, I told him. And he was so in shock.
You carry it all so well.
That he took a step back, and the next day he came and told me, like, I didn't mean to be rude. He's like, it's just when you say chemo, I expect people to look a certain way already. I go, you expect people to look sick instantly.
Yeah.
I said, but everybody has their own progress.
Everybody's different. Yeah.
It's crazy because just to share a little bit, my husband has an aunt, and she was going through chemo, and she did not lose her hair at all. Her hair is completely long, and she said the same thing. People did not believe her because her hair was still good.
And not everybody gets a hair loss issue.
Yeah.
Not everybody gets the weight loss issue.
Mm-hmm.
Some people turn gray.
Mm-hmm.
Their skin tone will literally turn gray.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. Like even my eyelashes, I won't put fake ones on because I don't want them to fall out my real ones.
Yeah.
But I lost so much eyelashes. Like they were so full.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so weird because I see it, but nobody else really sees it. So I have to remind myself, this is just something you know.
Yeah.
Nobody else sees it.
Yeah.
And then sometimes because you haven't told anybody, and if anybody looks at you in any kind of different way, you're probably like, fuck, I wonder if they know what's going on.
Right. Or they're like, you don't feel your best, you didn't do all your makeup, you didn't like contour or do your eyeshadow. And they're like, oh, are you feeling okay? You look sick. And you're like, well, yeah, I am sick, but...
Have you taken any counseling?
Like actually sitting there with a therapist?
Yeah, or what is your counseling like, reaching out to?
You know what? I can't tell you that I sat there with a counselor or a therapist or anybody. I pretty much, online was my first friend towards it, I guess you'd say, like finding groups and websites and other women to connect with because I want to know their story and see which and how much line up with my story. And the fact that there's so many different, I guess we'll say bullet points to say like, you have this autoimmune disease, you have that one, you have this one. You don't realize how many cross paths because you end up with this, you end up with this later.
Yeah.
And they can't tell you it's a medication or if it's you. So it does get to that point where you do want to talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
And I've talked to my specialists, but my therapy is going out lowriding. My therapy is being able to just be in the car, just to be out, to see everybody. Enjoy yourself. Pretty much like, I don't want to let the moment pass without somebody letting them know I love you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether it's I support you, I love you, I'm here for you. I want to be there for them because I know what it feels like to have nobody there for you.
Yeah. It's really hard.
It's really hard.
And I mean, already as it is, as a Hispanic, you pretty much you're raised. You have to figure it out.
Everything's quiet.
Yeah. Don't tell people what's going on because you're weak.
Yeah.
And we don't have weak people in our family.
Right. And it reminds me of postpartum depression.
Oh,
that's exactly what these hidden illnesses and disabilities pretty much. When people think, oh, you're gonna get depressed, it's not the depressed that the stereotype depressed.
Yeah.
It's like postpartum depression. It's some days I'm anxious, some days are just really sad days. Some days I don't want to get up and out of bed and do my makeup or my hair, just leave me in pajamas. You know, I think postpartum was the same way because they tell you nap when the baby naps, you're never gonna sleep, and you hear all this stuff, then it, just like having an autoimmune disease, they tell you so much stuff. Just like having a baby, they tell you so much stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no real guidebook. There's no real, let me help you detour.
Yeah, there isn't.
Take these pills, call me in a week.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
it.
much.
That's it.
Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it reacts with your body, with your system.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many times I felt like a guinea pig just trying to find the right combination to feel normal. And then somebody told me, you don't have to feel normal. You just have to be you. And if you're not feeling good, be you and relax at home.
Yeah.
If you're feeling decent enough to come out and be you. But you never have to be normal. You just have to be you.
A lot of people tend to over-stress themselves and push themselves to do things for others.
They remember like back here where they were 100% and they could do that.
Yeah.
I was one that did that. It took slowing down a long time. And I mean, over the last 5 years, it's taken me time to like address it. Like to be like, I appreciate you inviting me to the birthday party. It's a month from now. I'll give you a call like a couple days before and let you know if we're going to make it or not, because I can't justifiably say, I feel great today. A month from today, I'll feel even better or worse.
Yeah.
And I missed out on a lot of family things like weddings, funerals, because the emotional impact that you take affects your autoimmune diseases. Yeah, so it's like a fight or flight. Sometimes like you can be good, you can be somewhere, music's going, everything's good, but you need to shut down because it's really overstimulating you.
Do you pretty much, you already know?
Yeah, I push myself often and a little too much, but I do know when it's setting in. Or my kid knows and he's like, hey, you ready to go home?
So it's, so like, I guess your emotions can trigger the...
Oh yeah, like say you have somebody pass and you're sad. The emotional stress of going through it puts stress on the body.
Yeah.
Always. So depending on the emotion, it affects a different organ in the body.
Yeah.
And when your whole internal organs and everything are inflamed, everything just goes red alert.
Yeah. Yeah, because you were mentioning that it's in your DNA, correct?
Yeah.
So basically it's like encrypted in your nervous system. So the triggers being your emotions or any type of like life event.
Yes.
And it's horrible.
It could be a positive, happy
of
life
course,
event.
absolutely.
Like a baby being born and you're excited. And then you remember that you don't like going into the hospital because you have a low immune system. And you get anxiety because you've had to stay there a few times when you're sick and you don't like it there.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that's when I'm like, I'll wait till the baby comes home. Yeah, it triggers you. Funerals are the same. I really feel it's just, you can't be on this end or this end. You just have to learn to find your own medium and how to deal with things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any researches that you actually did to help you cope with it?
I researched as much as I could, but there isn't a lot out there online yet.
No?
No. Your best advocate and your best advice come from people online. And it's sad.
Experience.
Yeah, the UK actually has better health programs and guides and therapists. And yeah, they sent me to a nutritionist, but they never sent me to a therapist. That's something you have to ask for. And when you're paying your own insurance and your premiums, you got to see if it's in network, out of network. I mean, the UK, they give you everything. They give you the pamphlets, the help, how to talk to your family, how to address it with work, how to find your own way into a new life change.
How to live with it, yeah.
And here they're just like, excuse me when you say this, but you know what I mean? That's it.
Yeah.
You're screwed.
Do your own research.
Do your own research. See me every month. I mean.
Write it down. Write your symptoms down.
Yeah, and that's it. And then they'll listen to it.
Yeah.
And then they'll listen to it. So I got to say, like, when a doctor really cares, like the one at the emergency room for me, that made a difference in my life. Like, I mean, he found it, so it was a big step. But a lot of these doctors that I've been through, it's sad to say that I've even had doctors tell me you're a drug seeker.
Wow.
You're looking for Vicodin, Oxy. And I'm like, no, I haven't taken those since when the car crash happened 10 years ago. And I had all the broken bones. Like, I haven't taken those pain medications.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you know, and then you see them checking everything to see. And then when they find out you aren't lying to them, because they stereotype you.
Yeah.
You're being judged.
Yeah, you're being judged. One last thing with that, though, too. I have to remind my son, like, even at a young age that he is now, you know, come 18, you got to get screened for cancer. Because it runs in the family. It runs in the family. You know, because I have autoimmune diseases, you have to watch out for them now. You know, because who knows when they really started for me. It might have just like trickled in, but the event of the crash or all the surgeries just blew it all out of proportion.
It's crazy.
And it's sad, but I was even told by one doctor, by a neurologist, he said the type of work I do is fight or flight.
Oh yeah.
Automatically. So you keep your body in that mode.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you're from the streets, you're in that mode no matter what.
Yeah.
So some people don't realize they grew up in fight or flight their whole life. So so you won't even know when you got sick originally because you've had stress since you were young.
Very young, a lot of us.
Yeah, you gotta have the house clean before your parents are home. You have to your homework done.
Traumatized like fuck.
Raising your siblings, like, you know, it don't stop.
You didn't do something. You didn't take the meat out.
Oh yeah, you didn't defrost it from the freezer.
Seriously, I remember I used to get my ass beat. Like, the fuck you mean you didn't take the? I was like, I forgot. I was taking care of your kids.
Yeah.
Shit.
It was a different time then. It was a really different time then.
Yeah.
They put so much pressure on kids, and it's like. Yeah, we have to definitely do better when it comes to our
and it comes back again to making the change.
Yeah. Breaking the cycle.
Breaking the cycle. Be the change you want to see. Invest in the youth because that's the next set coming up.
Yeah.
Don't don't give them the traumas that we got. Don't push them to the extent. Like, I never pushed my kid like A's and B's. No. If you need help with tutoring, let me know. If you need help with this, let me know. We'll figure it out. I don't ever want you to feel stupid, but I don't want you to fall too far behind either. But you don't have to have A's and B's. You don't have to be valedictorian.
Yeah.
There's
so much pressure on kids.
Yeah, like, not to say it's not like the wrong thing to do or the right thing to do, but I can't tell you how many people I know that were all on honor roll and all this and that got their masters and don't even work in their field.
Yep. That's very true. That's very true. I think there's a lot of pressure, like you have to go to college. But in all reality, I think it's they should focus more into a trade.
Yeah, I believe in trade schools.
Yeah.
I believe in trade schools.
Because at the end of the day, you end up being, like myself, I don't even know how old I was anymore. But I was like, I should have just done this from the jump.
Yeah.
Because I was going to school for real estate. I went to school for nursing. I went to school for management. I did all kinds of shit, and I was just like, when I went to a trade school, I was just like, this is it. This is what I want to do.
Yeah. And you find it, but nobody ever told us about trade schools. Nobody ever said, try this, try that. They were like, just, this is it.
Yeah.
We didn't have people guiding us properly.
No.
Because our parents were pretty messed up in the head. You know,
yeah, their parents were hella rough. And, and we know
worse.
our grandparents were horrible because
yeah.
they'd smack us even worse than our parents. They were like, you're home with me all day, your parents are at work.
Yeah.
It's like, ve tráeme esa varilla. And I'm like, for what?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, those motherfuckers hurt. But, I just want to thank you so much for coming on to the show.
No problem. I mean, I appreciate you guys inviting me.
I just think it's really important for people to understand that.
It is. Like, nobody talks about it. Excuse me. Nobody talks about it. I mean, just recently, this past weekend, I let a few of the girls from the different car clubs that are out there cruising now that are like, hey, I haven't seen you in the last 2-3 months. Like, where you been? Or you went to a Thursday night hop, but we didn't see you on Sunday.
Yeah.
And I finally, you know what, honestly, is that I finally got the courage to say, like, hey, like when I told Honey, I finally had the courage to say, hey, this is what happened. This is what's going on. I don't need you to feel sorry for me. I just want you to understand the position I'm in to pick A or B situation.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the truth. Just be real with people and let them know. Be brave enough to say it, because I didn't even know one of the ladies, her husband was fighting for his life from cancer as well. Yeah. Because
she understood.
Because he felt he would be seen as weak.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many times been in a male field or male lowriding, I felt that way where I didn't want to say nothing. But then I learned this time, no, you know what? Say something. Somebody needs to hear it. Somebody needs to see it. Somebody needs to know they're not alone.
Yeah, you can make somebody's day, or
Yeah.
just even watching this interview, like somebody that just got the news.
Somebody that thinks they may have something wrong, but the doctors are like, oh, you're in normal range. Normal range is for the whole population. But what's your normal range?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What's your normal range? Because they're going to be different.
And it sucks because they will just send you home.
Yeah.
Nothing's wrong. Just go home. It's fine. You're fine. Just like, for example, when we were talking to Kimberly, and she was like, I kept on, there's a mosquito, huh?
Yeah,
I'm not tripping. I'm like, so.
I seen it. But yeah, everybody's normal is a different normal.
Yeah.
And
I remember.
There you go.
I remember. So when we brought Kimberly on, she was saying that the doctors that she was working with told her, baby's fine.
She
you're
was
tripping.
you're overthinking
overreacting. You're go home. You know, take every baby is different.
Right.
She kept on trying until she. It's like if you feel it, you feel it. You sense it.
I knew something was wrong with me.
Yeah.
And they did see certain things wrong with me, yes, and we did address these issues and we've gone through it. But I feel like we actually finally found the base of my issue now.
Yeah.
Like, this might actually be the real reason. Like, everything else has gone out of control.
Of course.
And it's definitely good. We have, like what we were trying to say earlier, when it comes down to the youth, I think we need to educate them on all this because they need to start getting checked.
Ask your parents, ask your grandparents.
Yeah.
They're going to tell you shut up or go away or leave me alone.
Or they're going to be like, no, nadie tiene nada.
Yeah. But you know damn well they go to the doctors.
So why is my grandpa on all these medicines, like 20,000 medicines that he has to take a day?
Right.
But there's nothing wrong.
But there's nothing wrong with them. But they have high cholesterol, blood pressure issues. I mean,
yeah. And
they don't realize all this is genetic. It gets passed along.
Yeah.
But even when I asked my grandmother, why didn't you tell me this runs in the family?
Yeah.
She's like, well, I didn't want you to know I was sick.
Wow. Yeah, I know.
And I was like, well, I wasn't saying you're sick, but maybe somebody in the family has. And then I found out, like, my cousin had leukemia, you know, cancer of the blood. One of my aunts had lupus. And it was just like, it took a while for it to trickle out of her. But she was like, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm fine. And I'm like, that's the toughness in you that says I'm a strong woman and I'm fine. But it's going to affect the generations past you if you don't say something.
You know, my mom used to be like, I don't want to go to the doctor. She felt sick and she would just make her own teas. And she was like, I'm going to be fine. I just have to have my tea. And I'm like, no, you need to go to the doctor. She did not go to the doctor. She refused. And she was like, what am I going to go for? And this is a mentality that they literally grew up with. Because my mom was not the first one that I heard it from. But I don't want to go to the doctor for what? That they're going to tell me that I'm going to die tomorrow and then I would rather not know and just die.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, because that's the way you go with Mom. Good one.
So my grandfather had that problem. His back started bothering him, and he was a driver for years. And he wore a back brace. You know what I mean? Kept going, did the yard work, Monday to Friday work. I mean, he was a working man. Well, when it finally got that bad that he went to the emergency room, they found out that he was already at stage 4 prostate cancer. It was never really his back that hurt him, but the cancer putting pressure and adding to it.
You know, and it's, now that you're talking about it, a lot of men don't want to go get checked because it's...
They're afraid something's going to be wrong.
Well, not just that, because of the...
how the exam is performed?
How the exam
yes.
is performed.
Because,
and they're just like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
You know, and they're just like, nope.
You know what?
And then it's too late.
I feel blessed that my dad goes and gets himself checked yearly, because his dad passed from it. You know, his grandfather passed of it. So clearly it's a genetic issue in our family that I told my son, like, 18, you have to start getting checked for it.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? When I had Penelope, I was pregnant. I was about to have her. And they brought us in and they set us down and they're talking to us, what runs in your family that you know of. We told them everything and they were like, yeah, we're trying to do things different now, to where if we know, we have this chart for Penelope. And now we know that as she grows up, we're going to start looking for certain things to make sure that we take care of them. Which I think it's great, but a lot of times it doesn't happen.
There's 3 of us that my parents had. And my middle sister's an adult with special needs. And on the spectrum, she's somewhere in the middle, but it's not like Down syndrome or nothing where you see her. She just is a little heavier set and, you know, but her mentality is really like 20 years younger than where she's at.
Yeah. They wouldn't diagnose
No,
you.
they wouldn't diagnose you right. It took years. And then they finally found out she actually had gotten a fever when she was younger at 2 years old that actually triggered it. And that's why now they're so advocating about fevers and high fevers in babies. So I always, even when I had my kid, it was like a stigma in my head, like, you know, look for these symptom signs, because I basically raised my sister watching the signs and the steps. She went to special ed school. She, you know, all the way into COVID, she went to adults special school where they taught her Meals on Wheels, you know, how to work, how to do certain things.
Yeah.
But it's just now recently that they have these regional centers that do all this. When she was in elementary school, no, not until like middle school, I think her regional centers started coming around in the 90s. And that's what made a real difference. You know, is that they have the networks, the connections, the link ups, the people.
And still to this day, there's a lot of people from the community that don't even know that the regional center exists.
Or they have children that are adults now and they don't know that they can get them tested still.
Yeah.
And it's because they just don't know, or they're afraid, or the truth, it's
they don't want to
admit it to themselves, because for the longest I didn't want to admit I was sick. And I think that was half of my problem not wanting to share to people, is I didn't want to admit I was sick.
Yeah.
I mean, I could be there throwing up for like 4 hours and I'm like, no, I'm good, guys. Wait a minute, give me a 7-Up.
The moment you admit
it's real. It's real. And I had to learn that one real quick when I realized I'm a single parent that has to have their shit together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like that's the realest slap I don't think anything else hit me as hard in life except that.
Wow.
Yeah. Like that's the basis of everything. I get up each day thinking like, I don't give a shit if I gotta go to work, I gotta clean the house, or whatever has to be done. I'll pick and choose what I want to do or what I can do with my energy. And then I try to save the rest of it for my son. Because I don't care how old he is or what age it is, we have a great time together.
Yes.
He's like my best friend. Yeah. You know, we know each other well enough. We're both old enough and mature enough. And we both have the common sense to know when to stay and when to go. Like, you don't even have to say it. You can just tell him, like...
It's tough, but, you know, good thing that you have him.
Yes, yes.
And you have me.
Yes.
Yes, because I was like, oh, I just want to...
I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. She did hold me and I was like, don't cry. I told her.
I was like, I can't hold it in. I'm a crier. Oh my God, so you're not for real. But because I know how
the
it
feeling.
feels. You feel me?
Yeah.
I've lost people. I've been in tough situations, but yeah, I like I was trying to tell you earlier, I am extremely thankful that you were able to come and make it to the show.
Thank you, guys.
We definitely have to bring your son and
Yes.
your sons.
Right, my adopted children too.
Yes. Yeah, we have some more stuff in store for you guys. Just thank you so much for coming. Like, we really appreciate it. We appreciate you opening up. It takes a lot.
It takes a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, once you put the idea in my head, I was like role playing in my head, like back and forth. Like, okay, now everybody's really gonna know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, now it's real.
Yeah.
Now it's real. But I feel at the same time, like, just letting her know personally felt like a big accomplishment. Where even doing this, I feel is like nothing now, because.
Don't you feel like a little bit of a weight just?
Yeah, like lifted off. Like, you don't have to stand in the shadows as much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Like, it really means a lot.
Oh, no, thank you guys.
Guys, thank you so much. This is Making Changes.